All you fine folks that are tuned in today, you need to tune in to the program tomorrow because we're going to be giving some stuff away. And when I say stuff, I don't mean we were running a rummage sale or something I found in my garage that I no longer need. No, I think it's going to be silver Jackson rounds. So tune in tomorrow. One little silver, what you can get tomorrow may be worth, before you bat an eyeball, $100. Steve in Ohio. Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hi. Well, first of all, I totally agree about gold and silver. I've been buying silver since the U.S. government started back in 1986. Thank you, Ron Paul. And I was buying it when it was about $3.50 to $4 an ounce. And I would buy maybe 100 ounce every other month or so. And I'd buy a couple hundred coins. Right now I got about 5,000 of those. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I've got a freedom that I don't have with stocks or with cash. I feel really good that I have it. Now, knowing that, everything that's been happening.
Wait. Steve, let me stop you. You got 5,000 rounds. If that goes to $100 a round, that's worth $500,000.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm just letting other people know. I just did the math. No wonder you're chuckling. You're in the catbird seat.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I saw this because I remember my grandparents giving me silver dollars when I'd go over to their house. And I'd visit with them, and they'd get out like a Morgan, one of these old Morgans that they had. And they'd give me one every time I went over there. And, it got to the point where, hey, these things were worth something. I knew they were valuable. So I converted my work that I was doing into these pieces of silver because I knew throughout history silver and gold has been worth something. And I figured, silver is, they call it white gold, and I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. I'm of the firm belief, though, that if gold goes up beyond $5,000 an ounce or $3,000 or even doubles to from where it is now, that there aren't going to be anybody that's going to be able to afford to buy it.
That's been our point. This is what I'm trying to drive home to people, that they are not going to have the opportunity to make any money anywhere in the very near term. And while you still have convertible funny money here, convert it because every other smart person is doing exactly that.
Well, John, from the coin dealers that I've been buying from, because I have friends in the coin industry, they have a coin business, and they treated me pretty well. They've been selling me coins that, $2.50 above spot. And I've been happy with that.
Yeah.
And I've recently heard comments that he says, you know what, I'm not going to take Federal Reserve notes for these anymore. Now, what does that tell you?
That tells me that the guy that's selling the good stuff knows what's coming. The irony to this is, Steve, that I had gold and silver myself, and to run this network, and we've been helping people by sounding the alarm, banging the trash can lids, whatever. I've had to sell off all my gold and silver to keep this network running. And we're trying to bail other people's butt out. And my wife looks at me the other day, and she said, "Do you get the idea you're sitting on the deck chair of the Titanic?"
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to depend on people like you to shove a few silver rounds my way as this thing heats up, because I've got no personal wealth left. I've given all that I've got.
I can confirm that.
Robbie knows very well.
Yeah, I bought it from you.
Yeah, that's right.
I had a chance to call Congressman Boehner's office today.
Oh.
because I read the story on Republic's website.
Yes, DV Kids story, yeah.
Yeah. And I made mention of that article, and they said that they got quite a few calls on that.
I bet because it was succinct. There this guy is, the hypocrite, accusing the Obama administration of not producing jobs when he was on one of the biggest sellouts of America.
Yeah.
I've got another word other than hypocrite, but this is a family show.
Well, we could call him a liar, too. But let me ask you guys this. I've got 6 things that the United States needs to do, which I know they're never going to do, in order for us to survive. the first one is get rid of the Fed, stop paying foreign banks to allow us to so they can allow us to print our own money. Get out of NAFTA and GATT. We got to cut taxes to zero. End socialism in the United States. Put tariffs on all imported goods, including oil, and drill for our own oil in the United States, like Gull Island. And then the last thing is let Israel support itself and keep the U.S. out of Israeli problems.
Boy,
Do you think
Traficant really pissed off the Israelis when he let the cat out of the bag that, hey, we've been giving these people $15 to $20 billion every year? And you know, the funny thing about this is, what did the Obama administration just do? Sunk $20 billion in moving how many people out of Palestine because, well, they can claim that, we're in need here. While Israel continues to displace and kill those people over there, Obama is going to open up the floodgates and allow them to come here. What kind of idiocy is this?
It's crazy. And, you know, John, as far as Jim Traficant, I am donating my time to make sure that he gets reelected. I'm working for him.
Well, hey, there you go. Steve, you sound like a smart cookie and well-positioned. Remember, you might have to bail me out in the future.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey, thanks a lot. We got to go to break here, folks. We got a half hour left, and the phone banks are full, so we'll keep it cooking. We'll be right back. Los Angeles, 2009, as reported by The Guardian, California may be the 8th largest economy in the world, but its state staff are being paid in IOUs. Unemployment is its highest in 70 years, and teachers are on hunger strikes. So what has gone so catastrophically wrong? Well, California has a special place in the American psyche, the Golden State, a playground of the rich and famous with perfect weather. It symbolizes a lifestyle of sunshine, swimming pools, and the Hollywood Dream Factory. But the state that was once held as the epitome of boundless opportunities of America has collapsed. From its politics to its economy to its environment and its way of life, California is like a patient on life support. At the start of the summer, the state government was so deeply in debt that it began to issue IOUs instead of wages. Its unemployment rate has soared to more than 12%. And figure this one out, folks. 12%, it's much higher than that. Desperate to pay off crippling budget deficits, California is slashing spending in education, as if their kids aren't dumb enough, and health care, laying off vast numbers of workers and forcing others to take unpaid leave. In a state made up of sprawling suburbs, and the collapse of the housing bubble has impoverished millions and kicked tens of thousands of families out of their homes. Its political system is locked in paralysis, and the two-term rule of former movie star Arnold Schwarzenegger is seen to be a disaster. His approval rating has sunk to levels that would make George Bush even blush. The crisis is so deep that Professor Kenneth Starr, who has written an acclaimed history of the state, recently declared California is on the verge of becoming a failed state in America. And commenting on that story, there was a gentleman here, let me get to it real quickly. Bob M. says from California, he said, I'm a small contractor in the South Bay, and I've been in business here for over 12 years. I have paid taxes beyond belief and now have to face the November income tax increase with my employees. The state has gone through several poor, at best, governors and state senators. I'm tired of the burden my fellow contractors have faced and that some of them have gone under. It's not fair that the working people continue to give by law to an establishment that does not truly try to control its own spending. At this rate of increase in taxes and expansion of the removal of civil rights, California deserves to fail. Maybe then, while the throes of desperation, will the changes needed so badly that they actually take place. The working people will not stand for this much longer. Lying, he says. Thank you, Bob M., for that reply. Let's go back to the phones here with my guest, as always on Tuesdays, Mr. Robbie Noel and Mr. Robert Chapman. And if I can get my screen to refresh. I'm sorry? Jim in Florida. Go ahead, Jim.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I have a question for all three of you. In all of my reading of history, it appears that historically all of the problems that have ever been caused have been caused by banks.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we, when the dust clears after all this is over with, if we come out of it, and we can get back on a gold and silver standard, obviously we're going to have some sort of a banking system. Any of you three, have you given it any thought? Is it possible to have an honest banking system that benefits both the banker and the people who use the banks?
Boy, there's a loaded question.